Good morning. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, band. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center of Unity. We are excited that you are here this morning. Did everyone have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. Were you thankful?
Yeah.
Good. We were too. We had a great Thanksgiving. It lasted about 3 days. About 3 days of Thanksgiving. But it was good. It was really good. I want to welcome you if you're joining us online, if you're on Facebook or YouTube. We want to say welcome this morning. If you would be so kind as to let us know you're there, put a little comment in the comment section and let us know that you're joining us with us this morning. This morning is the first Sunday of the Advent season. It is a season of significance and symbolism, a season that calls us to slow down, to examine our hearts and anticipate joy and peace and love and hope. And all of this was demonstrated to us through Jesus. Now, we traditionally focus on the birth of Jesus and the shepherds and the angels and the whole nativity thing. And this season, I'm inviting you to look beyond the baby in the manger and anticipate the coming of Christ in a new way in your life, a birthing of the kingdom of God within you. The Advent season, I invite you to be alive, not just to exist, but to thrive, to live out loud, to walk tall, to breathe free, to be more awake, more grateful, and more energized with purpose. Advent is a season of renewal and change. As we sing this morning, I want you to let the life of God fill your heart. Let the love of God flood over you. And I challenge you to be alive, to feel alive. Mary, to be alive. Kenny, to be alive. Sharon, to be alive. Life for this season. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. You give life. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs,
pour out our praise to you only. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only.
Well, good morning, everyone. So glad you're here with us today. Today is the first Sunday of Advent, and we are lighting the candle of faith today. As we light this candle of faith, we allow it to remind us that as our faith is strong, we too can allow that Christ child to be born anew in each of us. So let's just take a moment and center ourselves into this experience. As we breathe into this moment, knowing that the very energy of God is coursing through our bodies, it is enlivening our hearts, it is moving our thoughts into new ways of experiencing that one breath of love and light, and allowing us to step into this life experience in new ways, to open to new expressions of love, both that we receive and that we share. We are grateful to know that we have the faith that passes all understanding. And we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen. Well, good morning to all of you here with us in person. And we're saying a special good morning. There's a bunch out there today. Ginny and Phyllis and Sue and Kelly and Gigi and Britt and, oh, there's Phyllis again. Dawn, yes. Julie and Karen and all of the other people out there joining us via our live stream. We hope your experience is going to be one that you haven't had in a while, especially when it comes to the music, because we now have a teeny weeny little soundboard that we got a lot of stuff plugged into, but we're hoping that that will really enhance your experience as you're joining us wherever you may be. We know that there are many people who are traveling back from wherever they went to join with others for Thanksgiving. I got back Friday night from my mom's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, got to see my first snow of the season. I arrived, it was 13 degrees. And we didn't get much above that the whole week that I was there. So I got to experience my cold and snow, and I'm good for the season. And I'm sending that out to the universe that we're good. And we're just grateful that as we move into this season of Advent, we can really experience the love and the light that Christmas is. Bless us all as we move through and keep those who are traveling today safe.
This morning, we are examining Unity Principle number 4. Can you hear me? You want? Oh, I'm short. I've always been short. Okay. We're going to be examining unity principle number 4. And this is a wonderful principle. I love this principle. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking, feeling, and acting. This principle both empowers us and challenges us to take personal responsibility for developing habits and behaviors that will result in the experiences we would like to have. What are some of those habits and behaviors? Well, they have to do with what you put into your mind, through what you read, through what you study, through what you watch, and also through what you choose to participate in. They have to do with how you treat others, what you give out to the world. They have to do with consistent prayer and consistent meditation. And of course, they have to do with respect for your body temple, uh, as well as that of others. There are so many different things. Each of us will find our pathway if we're looking. We have to be consistent in creating our focus on positive thoughts, uplifting feelings, and actions that add to the good in the world. We are not only co-creating our reality, but the reality of our space, wherever that space may be. Service is a center of unity value that especially results in increased good. As we seek to identify our spiritual gifts and find ways to use them in service to others, we are blessed and we bless others. When I came in this morning, I was so impressed with how beautiful it looks, even in this small space under all the circumstances. The people came and decorated yesterday so that we would have a Christmassy thing. Many, many ways to serve. Thank you.
And another good morning. I'm going to do the daily word today, and the words for today are hope and faith. This Advent, my hope leads me to unwavering faith in God. My belief in goodness of the world, others, myself, and God begins with hope. Maybe hope is all I can muster after a period of doubt or disappointment. As I feel hopeful, I begin to believe that new possibilities and better outcomes are available to me. My hopeful feelings lead to faith, a certainty that the goodness I could only sense before is the actual nature of life. With faith, I now direct my thoughts toward goodness, wholeness, and my heart's desires. With gratitude for my awakening, I use faith to dismantle doubt and limitation. I hold only the best thoughts for myself. I know and feel in the depths of my soul that the good I desire is already mine. With unwavering faith and deep gratitude, I claim it now. For God alone, my soul waits in silence, for my hope is from Him. Psalm 62, verse 5.
Thank you, Bob and the band. Glad to have so many here this morning. Well, I don't know about you, but I love the lights around Christmas time, the decorations. We had fun decorating here yesterday, and I am so grateful to all the people who really go out of their way to deck the halls on their houses. I never do it, but I love seeing and appreciating what other people do as far as really bringing some great cheer. There are certainly neighborhoods that just are outstanding to drive through. You could almost feel the exuberance and the energy that these people pour into decorating their houses. Thousands of lights and different displays. And I find it interesting to see all of the different types of decorations that people use. Usually, you'll see a nativity scene, that's one of the staples around Christmas time. But then you'll also see Santa Clauses and his workshop and reindeers. There was a neighborhood in Roanoke where I used to live that also had flying pigs, lighted flying pigs and roosters on the top of the roof, and many different amazing and creative decorations that were out there. In this lighting display, there are some, this is one that I found out there that just has such an array of different ideas and celebrations. There's Thomas the Train and Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation, along with the Nativity and many other different lighted delights out there. And if you really think about this from a purely Christian perspective, sometimes it's hard to reconcile how we have morphed all of this into one big celebration. It's as if there's been this blending of many, many, many stories over the years that we've been celebrating this traditional celebration of Christmas. Some I've heard and see comments occasionally that they're concerned that we're losing the reason for the season. Others might pass their own judgment. And it's oftentimes seen as sort of a distortion of Jesus's birthday. And yet, Christmas has never been about consistency or accuracy. Just like the many lighted displays incorporate the many aspects of tradition and modern culture, in Christianity there has been a long blending of the story of the birth of Jesus that we get presented today. Only two gospels, the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke, tell about the story of Jesus, and they tell a slightly different story. And yet, the central theme of all of the New Testament, of all that we carry forth from this birth of the Christ, is around love and light. Certainly, the story of the birth gives us this image consistently of a brilliant star that arises that night, that guides the way of the shepherds in one of the Gospels and of the Magi or the wise men in another of the Gospels. The star, the light, symbolizes that even in the darkest of days, and Christmas falls on the darkest day of the year, the light of faith will guide our way, will bring us to the place that we need to be. The holy season of Christmas, as well as other traditions, share this theme of love and light. And it's shared this theme throughout the millennium. In the ancient Druid tradition, there were fires lighted to celebrate the power of light to overcome the long, dark days of winter. In the Jewish tradition, Hanukkah is known as the festival of lights, where 8 candles are lit. In the African tradition, the celebration of Kwanzaa also incorporates the lighting of 7 candles. And of course, in the Christian tradition, the lighting of the candles refers us and invites us to the different aspects that the birth brings into our own lives. I recently read a story entitled The Other Wise Man, and it was written by Harry Van Dyke in 1885. Maybe you've heard this one, I'm not sure. It tells the faith-filled story of the fourth wise man. He was a Persian magi who was to join the other wise men when the star appeared. And the day came when they were called to set off. And Artaban sets off to join up with his friends. But the journey is interrupted when he stops to help a dying man. He showed up late to the meeting point and finds that the others have left without him. Undaunted, he sets off on his journey to follow the star, but he doesn't make it to Bethlehem in time. The other three magi are gone, and so is the Holy Family. Artaban brought with him precious stones that he wanted to offer to the birth and to this new child that was to bring so much light into the world. And so, still having his precious stones, he sets off on a 30-year journey, following and trying to catch up with Jesus so that he can share his gifts. However, he always seems to show up just a little late, just having missed him because of the responsibilities that he feels to others that he encounters along the way. And they slow him down from this spiritual quest. He experiences some frustration, and yet his faith never wavers. On his journey, he is moved to use one of the precious stones to buy freedom for a mother and her child who is threatened by death from Herod's soldiers. Later, he used another one of his stones to purchase freedom for people who had been sold into slavery that he encountered along his way. His faith certainly fueled his travels, and yet, as he neared the end of his earthly life, he felt like he had fallen short of his spiritual goal. And in his final moments, Jesus appears to him, assuring him that through his many acts of love, through his willingness to be that expression of love, he had unknowingly been the Christ, that which he has sought. He had already had within him and been expressing it. And there was never a need for him to seek elsewhere. Oftentimes, we find ourselves in that same place as Artaban. As we anticipate the wonder and the joy of the season, we can also become overwhelmed with the obligations that go along with it and distracted by the challenges that arise in our life. We might find ourselves complaining about the demands of others and the seemingly fast track of time. I know that's one that it just seems to be outrunning me all the time. We seem to fall short of the spiritual goal of focusing on our own spiritual birth of the Christ within. The truth that Artaban receives in his last earthly moments is the same truth that Jesus offers to each of us. Christ is not a destination, it is a journey. I want you to hear that again and maybe see if you can't seat that in your own hearts. Christ is not some place we end up at. It is the journey that we take to embody it. We give new birth to the Christ presence every time we extend love to others, even if it means that we get to the place we were trying to find ourselves arriving at a little bit late. When we allow faith to be our guide, we find the perfect places to share our light and our love with those that we encounter on our journey. And so, on this day where we open ourselves to a greater experience of faith, I invite you to join with me as we move into a time of meditation, as we look not only to the stars that we see in the sky, but also those stars that light up our own inner being. So just allow yourself for a moment to relax and to be present, letting go of all thoughts about what has been or what is to come. To know that right now, in this very moment, the light and the love of Christ is present. As you become aware of your breath moving in and out of your body, allow that breath to expand beyond the physical confines of your being, to move out into the spaces around you, and to know that the very air you breathe is the very breath of God breathing you. And as you are in this place of inner love and light, see it flooding your entire being. And allow my words to become yours. As I move through this holiday season, I embrace the gifts of love and light. I affirm my faith in the midst of any challenges that may arise. I allow this inner light to guide me, to move in or through or around whatever obstacles may keep me from knowing that Christ energy alive in me. I turn in any moment where I feel that sense of overwhelm hit to that spirit within and affirm the light will dawn, and it will. The light will always dawn, and it will for me. Whatever I need to see in this moment, it will be illuminated by the light. Where healing is needed, it will be done as I shine my light in faith. Comfort, assurance, peace flow through me, no less than the comfort and the assurance that Mary and Joseph received as they embarked upon their holy journey. Know that this light moves with you wherever you may travel. It guides each and every step. It is the light of the world. You are the light of the world. And as we shine it brightly, the darkness dissipates. And as you slowly and gently begin to bring your attention back to this time and space, knowing that you will be guided as you walk this path, this holy season, and in faith, you give in whatever way and to whomever crosses your path. And you give birth each and every time in a greater way to that Christ within. And so it is. And so we allow it to be. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Eric Butterworth, who was a prolific unity writer and minister, reminds us that faith is remembering that God is centered in you. God is centered in you always. The question to ask yourself is, where is my consciousness centered? If your thought is centered in materiality, in all of the trimmings and stuff of the season, if it's centered in difficulties, if it's centered in the news of the day, if it's centered in the idea that life just seems to be always happening to me, this, he writes, is going to frustrate the whole flow of the new birth, wanting to be alive within you. God is centered in you. The kingdom of potentiality is already within you. And positive faith is the key to accessing that kingdom. You don't need to become something different in order to release your imprisoned splendor. He continues that you simply need to get your consciousness centered in God, centered in the realization that the whole universe believes in you. Can you embody that? The whole universe is seeking to support you, to bring you exactly what you need in order that you can be born anew. The whole universe is flowing. It's flowing right into you with every breath. You just need to accept it, to let it happen, and to let yourself be directed out of that consciousness in a faith-believing attitude. This Advent season, may we come to know that God believes in each of us, you and I, and all of those around us. May we awaken to know that the Christ child is being eternally birthed in us. It is our hope of glory, and it is what we give thanks for in this season.
As we get hurled forward into the Christmas holidays, we've just experienced Thanksgiving. And I can tell a lot of us really are showing gratitude for the Thanksgiving experiences that we've had over the weekend. And so, it makes me think, really, Thanksgiving is a state of being. It's something that we live out every day. And starting from George Washington to the present day, we give thanks to God.
Thanks, I give you thanks for all you've done.
am so blessed. My soul has found rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. Thanks, thanks. I give you thanks for all you've done. Oh, I am so blessed. My soul has found rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. I thank you, Lord, for the strength you give to simply carry on through life's toils and tests and the worst and best. I'm not ever left alone. You are always right beside me. You hear me every time I pray. And since I first began, you were my dearest friend, and I'll give you all the praise. And I say thanks, thanks. I give you thanks for all you've done. Oh, I am so blessed. My soul has found rest. Oh, Lord, I give you thanks. I thank you for this moment, and I will continually. For each day I live, your grace you give, and I'm blessed abundantly. Oh, I can't forget that moment when in my life you made such a change. When the Spirit came, I've not been the same. I just want to give you praise. Oh, thanks. I give you thanks for all you've done. I want to thank you now. I am so blessed. My soul has found rest. Oh, Lord, I give you thanks. Thanks, thanks. I give you thanks for all you've done. I want to shout it to you. I am so blessed. My soul has found rest. Oh Lord, I give you thanks. Oh Lord, I give you thanks.
Well, I certainly pray that those of you watching us via the live stream got the fullness of that. I hope now you've gotten a much better mix of what we're experiencing here in this space when you get to be live. It is our opportunity now to share of our financial good with this ministry. We are so grateful for the many channels of good that we receive. We're grateful for the many channels of good that this community not only supports us with, but supports the greater community that we live in. We've got a whole piles of blankets and socks in there ready to go out to the homeless. And there's still a little window of time if you want to contribute to that also, or to our Christmas support that we're giving the I Can Still Shine. We aren't doing an official passing of the baskets here in the fellowship hall right now, but we've got baskets available for you to drop your gifts and love offerings into. And we also have an affirmation for you to take with you today and to bless you this week. We don't want those of you who are watching us live not have that same opportunity. You can go to our website, centerofunity.org, go to the give page, and you can give in a number of different ways. And you're going to hear in the announcements, that's not the only way. We've got lots of channels from which we will gratefully receive our good. And there's also an opportunity to receive an affirmation there if you just scroll down the page. So let us take this bountiful good flowing in and through not only this community, but through all of our lives into our hands and into our hearts and bless it together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
Okay, it's welcome and appreciation time. Reverend Linda, thank you for that message. I always leave here lit because of something you say. So it's wonderful. If you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you've chosen to join us. We invite you to visit our website and fill out the Connect card. And if you're local, we invite you to visit in person. If you are here visiting us in person for the first time, there are visitor cards over at the table. I see Bethany. Hi. And there's offering baskets, and you can drop that in the basket or leave it at the visitor desk if you go out the front. Appreciation. Sherry Pratt. Sherry has worked at the church for 33 years, obviously discovering time travel, almost as long as we've been at church. Sherry has seen many changes and has stayed the course through some incredibly challenging times and times when we haven't always been the best. She's always ready to pitch in and help whenever and wherever she can. We've had the recent downtime because of our inability to be in the sanctuary, and Sherry came in on her own time to meet and guide us through our temporary sound requirements, as well as some more permanent ones. So Sherry, for your dedication and giving nature, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. In case you missed it, the early bird Christmas sale has been extended through today. You'll save 10, 20, or 30% off your entire purchase. So be sure to visit the bookstore and find some unique gifts. There's still a few days left in the Spirit Group Sock and Blanket Drive. Simply drop your donations off at the church by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, November 30th, or make a financial contribution on our website. Be sure to note that it's for the Sock and Blanket Drive. The first 10 people who sign up for the committed giving will receive a $25 gift card to the restaurant of their choice. You can sign up for any amount, and you can cancel whenever you like. This offer ends on Tuesday, November 30th, so take advantage of this great offer and sign up now by filling out a card at the Info Center or by calling the church office. I Can Still Shine has 250 children in need this year. They're hoping to collect 2 to 3 toys per child for the children under 12 and $25 to $50 Walmart or Target gift cards for the teens. Please wrap your toys and mark them with whether it's for a boy or a girl and the suggested age. This step is very important so they'll know how to distribute them. They also need baked cookies and brownies for their Christmas party. Debbie Holt will be in the church parking lot on Thursday, December 9th from 10:30 to 11 a.m. to accept donations. You can find a list of needs on the COU app or in the newsletter. We have a variety of online classes available each week. Visit centerofunity.org for more info. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, use the COU or Venmo app, or you can text to give. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
That's called high tech right there, when you have to turn the TV off so we don't get the feedback. We want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you for joining us online. Why don't we all stand up together and we'll do our peace song, shall we?
There be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy as well. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
into this first week of Advent, we go with that feeling of faith, walking each step of the journey with us. And we also always go knowing our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.